This is Success Mentorship class number 128, and the topic is the 4 stages of life. Everything has a stage, and I want to read one of the spiritual principles, I think, that really sums it up, written thousands of years ago, and it says, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under the heavens, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pick up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace." And that so aptly sums it up, that everything in life operates on a vibration, on a frequency, in a season. And when we look at our lives, we have seasons in our lives. There are basically 4 seasons in our lives, and I'm going to share what they are, and then we're going to go into the details of each one, because it's important to understand the impact and the things in that season that are important, and then to look at how to maximize your ability to use the variables of that season to create the next level in your life. So the first season of life is the season of education. And here you learn what it's all about. The second season of life is the season of sensation and experience. And here you learn how it feels, how it looks, how it smells, how it moves. The third stage of life is the stage of power. And here you learn how to do, what to do, why to do, and you do it. The fourth stage of life is the stage of immortality. And here you look at what is your impact on the world? What was the purpose for your being? Here you look at the impact, the footprint, the vibration that you leave on the planet, on the consciousness once you move on to a next elevation. So let's begin to look into each one of these 4 levels of consciousness, these 4 stages of life, because each one represents a level of consciousness. And so in this first stage of life, we're talking generally from the time really before you're born, because the education of beingness begins at the moment of conception, the moment you plug into that universal vibration of life. And so from that point until age 20 or 25 is that stage of education. And it is during this stage that you learn the basic, fundamental, and the rules of life. You formulate, you learn about, and you accept a value system. You get the basic instruction in thinking, in reading, in writing, in counting, in logic, in decision-making. This is so important, because these first 20 years of life becomes a foundation on which we base the rest of our life. One of the interesting things about the stages of life is that they're cumulative. And so anything that you do not master in a prior stage will definitely come back to bite you later on, because the essence is toward perfection, toward completion. And so therefore it's critical that you master each one of the lessons at each stage of life. So in this education stage, you generally lay the foundation, your thoughts, your attitudes, your emotions. You learn about that basic attitude that you have toward yourself.